What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, we will be performing yet again another deep dive in Pokemon Go. Because of the first wave of Generation 5 Pokemon being introduced, we've had some very important Pokemon to talk about, whether that is Chandelure, Excadrill, and then finally today, we are covering Hydreigon, which is definitely fitting because it is the third Pokemon that we have covered. Go ahead and check out this model. It looks insanely cool. Very excited to talk about it because I know a lot of people are going to be interested in this Pokemon specifically. We will be taking a look at it from a raid side, PvP, should you unlock a secondary charge move, should you power it up, and then of course so much more. And since it is a dual type Pokemon, we will be taking a look at the performance from the dragon typing as well as the dark typing. So hopefully you are excited about this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Hydreigon. With a max AP of 3,625, Hydreigon is a dual-type Pokemon of Dark as well as Dragon. Like I said in the intro, we will be addressing this Pokemon from both of the typings because I think that there's something we need to point out specifically related to the moveset and how it could end up holding it back, as well as just the competition from both of these different typings. So speaking of the moveset, we can go ahead and jump into it. Let's address the good news first. We have Bite, Dragon Breath, Dragon Pulse, and then Dark Pulse. As far as stab benefit is concerned, you can go with a double Dark, and you can also go with a double Dragon, so that is going to be some good news. The bad news, however, is that these moves are not necessarily the best that you would want to have from the Dragon typing as well as the Dark typing, so that is just something to kind of keep into consideration, kind of keep that in the back of your mind. As far as Flash Cannon is concerned, I don't think a lot of people are going to want to use this. I don't think it provides any benefit for you to use it, so you'll definitely want to TM if you get Flash Cannon. Speaking of this Pokemon statistically, we do have some good news. Check this out, an overall ranking of 27th. That is amazing, and the reason that it is able to achieve that mostly has to do with just how tight the performance is, just kind of like overall, right? You're seeing that its lowest stat as far as the ranking is concerned is this defense stat, but it's still only at 120, so that is not that bad. We have an attack stat of 256. That is its best stat, but something to consider is not necessarily the Pokemon stat itself, but also versus its competition. When you're talking about Dragon type Pokemon, there are a lot of Pokemon with a very similar attack stat or an even higher attack stat than what Hydreigon has. So keep that in mind. I do think the Dark type has a little bit more of an opening, at least in my opinion. There are a couple of Dark type Pokemon with higher attack stats, but generally speaking, I think Hydreigon is going to do better from the Dark typing, just taking a look at it and knowing all of the Pokemon in Pokemon Go, of course, from the two different typings. The first thing we are going to do is take a look at this Pokemon from the Dragon typing. That's going to be the one where the space is the most crowded, and then when you include Generation 5 Pokemon that have not been released yet, it's going to get even worse for Hydreigon, so let's go ahead and check it out. Going up against a Palkia, we are going to see that Hydreigon ends up at that number 11 spot, being beat by a couple of different Pokemon. We've got some Dragon types in here, you know, pretty much dominating it, and then we start to get a little bit of variability where we're pulling out some of those Fairy type Pokemon. But as you can see, Hydreigon just isn't really doing well. Dragon Pulse is not going to really help it in that regard. You have a Pokemon like Latios, which we hardly ever see on the board as far as performance is concerned, doing a very good job getting up above Hydreigon. So Hydreigon just has a lot of competition. You're seeing a lot of these legendary Pokemon kind of being put up ahead of it. And then you're talking about like a lot of pseudos as well. It's just a huge space for Hydreigon to compete in. But what I'm more interested in, to be honest, is on the Dark side. When we go ahead and go up against a Mewtwo, the Dark typing will be super effective against Mewtwo. And then secondarily with that Dragon typing, it's going to help a little bit with the resistances and then also what it takes some like kind of damage to. So if you check this out, we've got that Chandelure in at that number 1 spot. We have already talked about that. That is absolutely magnificent. Of course, specifically related to the fact that we're going up against a Mewtwo that does not have the move Shadow Ball. It would probably drop if that were the case. But regardless of all of that, we're getting past these types of ghost type Pokemon, right? And then eventually we are making it to the first non-ghost type attacker, and that is Hydreigon, able to outperform Weavile. And we've talked about Weavile. Weavile is a solid Dark type Pokemon up there with Tyranitar, but because of Mewtwo's moveset being so diverse, Tyranitar really drops down quite a bit. But Weavile is right there, and Hydreigon is able to outperform it. So from the raid side, I'm thinking that the Dark type is a fairly good performance. The Dragon type, it's just kind of like, it's up there, but it is absolutely not the best. So if you are going to go about it from the raid side, definitely think about it from the Dark typing. So now that we have covered the performance in relation to the raids, the second part is always dedicated to the PvP side. And we actually have some good news for the first time in a long time of a Pokemon that we have covered in the Deep Dive series. We've got good news related to PvP. The first one is going to be in the Masters League. We do see Hydreigon making it into the top 30, and that even includes some of those unreleased Generation 5 Pokemon. So as far as that is concerned, that is going to be a solid performance, especially for a non-legendary Pokemon. So if you're interested in that, definitely consider using it for the Masters League. There's something cool though that we also need to address, and that is that its pre-evolution is good at PvP as well, except it is good in the Great League, which people absolutely love using Pokemon in the Great League, mostly related to the Sylph Arena doing the tournaments in the Great League. So if you are wanting to do that, definitely go with the pre-evolution and then go with Hydreigon in the Masters League. So now that we have talked about this Pokemon, it's one of those that is not necessarily the best by any means, but it's also kind of good at anything and everything that it is involved with. Sure, it's in like the top 10 on that Dragon side, it's at least within like the top 3 on the Dark, and then over in PvP it ranks out, and then its pre-evolution ranks out. It is a solid Pokemon, it's simply just not the best. So as far as my recommendations are concerned, I personally don't think I would power this one up, especially up to level 40, but why not go ahead and power it up to maybe like level 30? Level 35, I don't think you're going to really miss a lot from that. Try to get some trades, try to save some Stardust on it. Definitely prioritize other Pokemon over this Pokemon. And as far as unlocking the secondary charge move, really I think that the big piece of advice related to this is if you plan on using it from the PvP perspective, then yes, you would want to unlock a secondary charge move, but you want to make sure you max it out because it is best in the Masters League. If you don't really care about PvP, there isn't necessarily going to be a benefit to go ahead and unlock a secondary charge move just from the raid side. Anyways, I want to know what you think about Hydreigon in the comments section below. Are you excited about that Pokemon? Do you enjoy it? Do you think it's really cool? Let me know anything and everything that you think about it in the comments section below, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.